It seems right now, in all likelihood, there was foreknowledge of the assassination of Charlie Kirk, and some are suggesting that a terror cell, transgender ideology, is responsible for this attack, that it was not just a single individual. The Washington Free Beacon reports the FBI is investigating social media accounts that appeared to indicate foreknowledge of the Kirk assassination. The New York Post has reported that neighbors noticed a few weeks before the assassination, several strange vehicles were at his home with out-of-state plates, giving off not a good vibe. And then, of course, we have numerous social media posts from the roommate/boyfriend lover, however you describe the individual. Let's read from the Free Beacon. They say, exclusive, FBI investigating social media accounts that appeared to indicate foreknowledge of Kirk assassination. The Federal Bureau of Investigation is investigating social media posts by at least 7 different accounts that appeared to indicate foreknowledge of the assassination of Kirk, according to 3 people familiar with the investigation. The posts, one of which referenced the date of Kirk's assassination, September 10th, more than a month before it took place, were all deleted in the days following the killing. Several of the accounts appear to belong to trans individuals, and at least one of them followed suspect Tyler Robinson's roommate, with whom Robinson was allegedly in a relationship, on TikTok. The FBI has received archived copies of the posts, according to a person who flagged them for the agency. Screenshots of the posts have been circulating online, but had not been previously authenticated. While the posts do not establish that any of the individuals knew or conspired with Robinson, the 22-year-old gunman who allegedly shot Kirk, several of them mention the conservative activist by name and fantasize about his death. One said, it'd be funny, on September 3rd of this year, it'd be funny if someone like Charlie Kirk, they go on to say, lost his life on September 10th, LMAO. And then they wrote, Donald Trump, December 14th. Another account posted on August 6th, more than a month before. September 10th will be a very interesting day. After Kirk's assassination, the account followed up, I plead the 5th. The morbid quip was reposted by an account, Churbum, who appears to follow Robinson's roommate, Lance Twiggs, on TikTok, where Twiggs' username is Lanklodal. They say minutes after Kirk was pronounced dead, Churbum posted, we effing did it. Several of the accounts under investigation appear to be associated with LGBT subcultures. One individual, Osamu, blah, 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 I'm not going to read the full name. They say a reference to an anime said, well, that's that. They had posted 5 days before the shooting. You guys, I have something big coming soon. Just be sure to check the news. You'll know it when you see it. And then, quote tweeting this the day Kirk got shot, saying, well, that's that. Gulp, another chud bites the dust, they said. Another user who had wished death on Kirk predicted something big will happen, saying, let's just say something big will happen tomorrow. They knew. And in a video posted on TikTok the night before, an individual who appears to be trans wrote that Charles James Kirk does not know what's coming tomorrow. Interesting. This isn't a threat, the individual added. It's a promise. Sorry. The investigation of the post comes as the FBI is already examining whether pro-trans groups knew about Robinson's plan in advance. That probe, first reported by the New York Post, includes Armed Queers SLC, whose logo features high-caliber rifle bullets. Aesthetica on X posted, I am now 100% confident that Charlie's assassination was carried out by a radical left-wing transgender terror cell. Let's get into the evidence. 1. Tyler was dating and living with a trans man, male to female. This has now been reported and corroborated quite a bit. The initial report from Brooke Singman, Charlie Kirk assassin Tyler Robinson lived with his trans partner, sources tell me. This reporter was also had news about Donald Trump and statements from Trump and the admin, so I can only assume who her source actually was, probably high level. Axios has confirmed this with 6 individual sources. 2 of the bullets found in Tyler's rifle had engravings consistent with radical far-left trans ideology. Notice his bulge, OWO, is a reference to chasers, gay men who like trans women. Noticing the trans man's bulge. Catch fascist. It actually said, hey, fascist, catch. Self-explanatory. Now, the left is arguing that the notice his bulge meme is meant to insult trans people. It's literally just a meme. It can be used in any context. Tyler's trans boyfriend is friends with a trans account on TikTok that goes by the name Churbum, as mentioned in the article. They posted, we effing did it. But it wasn't the only. They also referenced the other Omar post. Let's just say something big will happen. We know that Tyler was very active on trans discords, a hotbed for radicalization and far-left extremism. Was this Discord server used to plan the attack? We know that Tyler was given the rifle and did not purchase it himself. Who gave it to him? This was obviously a combined effort involving multiple people, so one can only assume he got help from his trans associates. Well, perhaps. I don't know that I can say that, but I believe the official reporting is that he acted alone, though I find that very hard to believe. There's that video of the man who jumps up and starts cheering. There is the man at the front who screamed something and then was detained. It seemed like certain people, whether it was a coordinator or otherwise, did things immediately in the aftermath, which aided the shooter to escape. I'm not saying they planned it or were involved in any way. Maybe accidental. But people have suggested that these individuals who effectively, whether intentionally or otherwise, created a distraction, were somehow involved. I don't know that that's true or not. I'm just saying we really don't know, and it has been reported he acted alone. Aesthetica reports another trans account has been found to have had prior knowledge of the assassination. That's now 6 far-left trans terrorists who had advanced knowledge. And don't forget the initial video reported by Free Beacon of the person saying, Charlie doesn't know what's coming. The New York Post reported this. A neighbor claimed 2 weeks ago several people driving cars with out-of-state plates were seen going in and out. They did not give off a good vibe, the neighbor said. Well, that speaks for itself. Now, all of this is admittedly circumstantial for the most part. These people who are posting something's coming, let me tell you guys a story. I know some people probably don't want to hear any kind of potential doubt or anything like that, but there was a viral post where someone said something like, the Cubs are going to win this time, this point of the year at this score, or something like this. And it was an oddly specific call for the Cubs. And then the post went viral. Everyone said, how could they have predicted it? Because the post was made a year before. And they said, wow, this person nailed it. Here's the truth. The person actually made something like 500 different posts. And then, as soon as the Cubs or whatever team it was won, deleted them all but the one. So it looked like an accurate prediction. When in fact, it was buy every lottery ticket and you're going to win. Aesthetica reported, new info was found of Tyler Robinson's trans boyfriend posting an ACAB Antifa subreddits dating back 5 years ago. There's absolutely no way the trans boyfriend was not involved. Interesting. Now, I don't know where we go from here, but I have a feeling. Breaking. Trump just said there are a large number of people on the left who are being investigated in the wake of Charlie's assassination. Let me play the video for you.
We have to be careful. When we attack people, we have to be careful.
You mentioned Charlie Kirk, sir. What organizations on the left you anticipate investigating? You talked about this last week.
Well, the problem is on the left. If you look at the problem is on the left. It's not on the right, like some people like to say on the right. The problem we have is on the left. And when you look at the agitators, you look at the scum that speaks so badly of our country, the American flag burnings all over the place, that's the left. That's not the right.
Do you plan on investigating?
We'll see. We'll be announcing. They're already under investigation. You know, they're already under major investigation. A lot of the people that you would traditionally say are on the left.
They're already under investigation?
Already under investigation.
Have you asked to start revoking the visas of those who have celebrated Charlie Kirk's death?
What?
Have you asked to start revoking the visas of the foreigners who have celebrated Charlie Kirk's death?
No, we haven't, but we are looking at names. We don't like that. That's not right. We wouldn't celebrate if something happened on their side, and we don't. These are sick people. These are really deranged people.
Any progress on the Fed chairman, sir?
Well, other than I don't like him.
No, but
he's incompetent. The Fed chairman.
So you can hear Trump saying, when asked about revoking visas, he said, we are looking into it. I don't know if this is the right video.
I didn't.
Okay, I'm going to play this for you. Here's what Donald Trump says when he finds out Ruth Bader Ginsburg dies. I believe it's Ruth Bader Ginsburg. Let's jump ahead.
She just died? Wow. I didn't know that. I just, you're telling me now for the first time. She led an amazing life. What else can you say? She was an amazing woman Whether you agreed or not, she was an amazing woman who led an amazing life.
There's the contrast. Now, I understand that there are going to be many people who you can find, this is the challenge we face. And it's quite simple to anybody who exists in this space. There are people on the right who say nasty things to the left. They do it all the time. There are many on the left say nasty things to the right. Here's the problem. The left, it's commonplace. I've shown now several times for you the politics girl woman lying, just overtly lying to millions of people about the political background of the shooter. That's mainstream liberal. Mainstream liberals covering up for this guy. When a man at the Charlottesville riot drove his car through a crowd of people, the mainstream right did not defend him, did not make excuses for him. Some people did, sure. But the fringes are always the fringes. When Ruth Bader Ginsburg died, the mainstream mourned her loss. The mainstream conservatives. Charlie Kirk, a mainstream conservative, was shot and killed. Moderate liberals are lying to cover it up. They're saying he was a bigot who got the world he wanted. Prominent actors in Hollywood and actresses, we are not the same. So I'm not playing that game with these people. It looks like this was a far left terror cell. We don't know for sure. And this could all change. But I will say one thing. The first thing I want to add is context is important. And an example of what I'm discussing can be seen with our good friend, Sam Seder. I have routinely stated in times like this, in context, the truth doesn't matter, as people will decide what to believe if it benefits them. Now, Sam Seder, who is quite literally one of the worst in terms of lying to his audience, pulls that quote out of context as if to imply I'm saying just lie to people. The context is Charlie Kirk is dead, and the left is saying it was the right, and the left will believe it. And the truth here isn't what matters, because you can tell them the truth. You can show them the truth. They don't want to believe it, and their motivations will not be born of the truth. To be fair, the same is true of the right in most circumstances, because that's what humans want to believe. Humans believe what they want to believe. In most instances, people watch YouTube videos like this to hear what they already agree with. Now, what I can say is this. Was the individual who shot Charlie Kirk a leftist? I don't know that I would use the phrase leftist. I've said left-aligned. And the reason why is transgender ideology is mainstream Democrat. It doesn't mean that he's a hardcore Marxist. It doesn't mean that he is Antifa. We don't know. There's evidence that the person he was in a romantic relationship with was Antifa, left, liberal aligned. And at the bare minimum, if the guy was living with a trans person, evidence suggests he at least likes that person, right? So I've not seen evidence that this individual espoused overt leftist ideology or praised Marx or called for revolution or anything like that. However, the motivation appears to be, by all evidence so far released to the press, the motivation for the killing of Charlie Kirk was over his opposition to trans ideology. Gender ideology is left aligned. Now it could change. There are right-wingers who are okay with trans people, many of them. We have trans friends. I don't know how many people on the right would actually date a trans person and consider himself to be conservative. But certainly don't think it's fair to say that Groypers did it. The stupidest one, I think, is Israel. Charlie Kirk was basically like the biggest proponent of Israel. And there's tons of conspiracies going around. But I think this goes in one direction, and I'm sorry. It's terrifying, but I think this goes in one direction. Prove me wrong. Comment. Let me know. Smash the like button. Share the show. Thanks for hanging out. We've got more coming up today. More developments, more news. We'll see you all in the next segment.